Welcome to Home Buying Happiness, your 101 guide to buying a home. Throughout this series, we'll be outlining all the steps you'll need to make buying a home as easy as possible. Now, starting on the property ladder may seem a little daunting, but the decision to move from renting to buying has enormous benefits. Say goodbye to landlords and leases and start investing in your future.
The most important thing is security of tenure, and tenants don't have that at the moment in a marketplace where there's so few properties available to rent. The good thing about buying a property is that you have that security of tenure. It's your property. You have a place where you can raise your family in security, somewhere you can change it and make changes and grow the property as you wish without asking anybody. And the most important thing is you're wealth creating and building yourself a great nest egg for retirement.
Before you begin searching for your dream home, you'll need to know how much you can borrow, as this will determine where you can look for your new property.
Well, it's pretty important to get your finance sorted out first before you're actually going into the market to make a bid on a property in an auction or make an offer on a property. It's a much preferable to do it that way than start looking for a property then finding out you haven't got the finance.
One of the best things now to work out whether you can afford a loan is to go on the net. There are plenty of bank calculators or mortgage calculators on bank sites, building sites, and you can just put in how much you wish to borrow. That's 200, 400, 600,000, and put in what the present interest rate is, but you can also add that comfort factor of putting 3 or 4% on top of that interest rate and seeing whether you can still afford that. So you can run a fair few scenarios.
To arrange a loan, speak to a bank, credit union, building society or mortgage broker. And when you're happy with the amount you'll be borrowing, you'll need to get a loan pre-approved from your lender. Then you can start the exciting part, the search for your new home.
The best ways to find a property are first of all look in the various media available online and in newspapers. Secondly, to go to agents' offices and register your interest. Thirdly, of course, just go to the open homes and auctions in the area where you're looking to buy.
When you've found a home you like, you'll obviously want to make a bid or put in an offer. But before you do this, make sure you seek legal professional advice to look over the contract of sale and also have the property inspected, because your offer will be conditional upon this information.
The contract of sale is available to all purchasers on all property, whether it's sale by auction or sale by private treaty. So the buyer should get a copy of the contract from the agent and run it by their solicitor to check that all those situations are in order.
The next stage from that would be obviously to either get a building report or a pest inspection, subject to how you feel about the property, or maybe even a strata report. If you're buying an apartment, I always advise that it's extremely important to get a strata report. That will bring up if there are any issues within the building.
By this point, you should have final approval for your loan and be ready to make an offer or bid at auction.
There's various methods of sale that are used when selling a property these days. Those methods are usually the private treaty sale, where a price is advertised and a buyer is invited to negotiate the sale price from that original price. There is public auction, where we have a marketing campaign, which is usually over a 4-week period, and people are invited to offer offers before the auction day or come to the auction and bid. And there's advantages and disadvantages in all of those processes.
If your offer or bid for the property is successful, then the next stage is the exchange of contracts with the owner of the property.
Exchange of contracts happens after a purchaser's made an offer to the seller or the vendor. The vendor has accepted the offer. All the pre-purchase inspection work has been carried out insofar as pest reports or building reports or strata inspections. Finance has been approved. Then the purchaser is now in a position to sign the contract and exchange. The exchange, to use the Aussie colloquialism, is a fair dinkum swap.
At the time of exchange, a deposit is paid and both of the contracts are checked, dated and signed. At that point, it becomes a legally binding contract. After the exchange, a date will be set for settlement, which is normally around 6 weeks later.
A lot of stuff happens between exchange and settlement. Primarily, it's usually making sure the bank is happy. So the solicitor will do a whole lot of searches and inquiries to make sure that no public authority has any proposals with regard to resume any part of the land. And they will forward those on to the bank, and the bank will draw up the mortgage documents, and between those parties you'll sign the mortgage documents and the bank will be ready to advance the funds on settlement day.
On settlement day, the two parties meet and exchange documents and cheques, and that is the end of your property buying adventure. You'll get the keys to your new home and you can start moving in. We'll be covering all of these issues in more detail in the following episodes, starting with the best ways of raising the money to buy your home. See you next time on Home Buying Happiness.